welcome everyone. We had some technical difficulties with the scheduling. For some reason, it was like, I'm on Pacific Standard. Are you Mountain?
I'm East Coast.
You're East Coast. Okay, you're East Coast. And for some reason, the schedule on my side, we're supposed to go live in an hour, but we are here now. We're live. We're kicking this thing off.
This is real estate, though. This is how real estate works. Say you got a plan and then throw it out the window and be prepared for none of that to actually happen.
100%. It is what it is. What can you do? But we have Jen also with us, and she's going to be behind the scenes. So anyone that has any questions that come in live when we're recording, Jen will go ahead and read off some of the questions. I'll bring her in later on at the end of the first half of your presentation, Kayla. And then at the end of my presentation, then I'll answer any questions as well. And then from there, for anyone who's watching this in the future on YouTube or social media, you can still go ahead and put out those comments and we'll get back to you and answer them as well. So Kayla, thanks so much for being live with us today. I know that we did a podcast a while back. So
yes, things have changed, good sir.
Oh my God. So much has changed, and congratulations on the partnership with Passive Prospecting, Levi Lassick and Travis. I know that you went from the process of working like behind the scenes, seeing what they're doing, kind of ripped off and repeated, start your own coaching, and that's what intrigued us. And then we did the podcast together, and now you said we were just on the phone before we got live here about 3 months, huh?
It's crazy, right? Yeah, 3 months ago, Levi approached me. He's like, I know you're a student of Passive Prospect, and I know you're crushing it, and I know that you're teaching it, and you know how to teach it well.
Yes.
Come teach it with us. So it's kind of cool to have like the people you learned it from and have emulated what their processes are and achieved the success that they've achieved, and well, not to their levels, but coming up behind them. They're still ahead of me. But doing that and then being able to work with them to teach others how to do it. It's probably one of my favorite things is when a student gets on a call and they're like, I did that thing you told me to do and it worked. And I'm like, yes, that's what I want.
I love that. I love that. Well, congratulations on all the success and everything that you've got to this point. I'm sure you're only going to continue and get to levels that they are as well. We really appreciate your time today. And as we move forward with your segment, so we want to just go into the basic mechanics for anyone who wants to get onto YouTube, wants to start passive prospecting and going through this process. So we have 5 questions for you. Did you want us to shoot the questions off to you and you answer them, or did you want to just roll with it on your own?
Like hit me with it and I'm going to go and start. I'm going to do my thing. So okay. Yeah.
Awesome. Fantastic. So you have the ability to share it as well. So if anything that you want to share, you're more than welcome. You could just answer the questions and that could be sufficient for anyone out there that wants to grow on YouTube like Kayla Lindsay. And why don't we give them just a quick 1-2 minute, like why passive prospecting? Of course, they could watch the YouTube video and our podcast, but why passive prospecting? And what was the catalyst going from making the phone calls, the traditional marketing way, to then this whole passive prospecting?
I was exhausted. There's major reasons for the pivot into passive prospecting, into doing YouTube videos. And the biggest thing was the leverage of time. I didn't have enough time, right? And I was being successful with making cold calls and getting listings and doing what I was doing. I was successful at it. I didn't stop because it wasn't working. It's still a method that works. If every other method shut down on earth and the internet was no more, I would go back to cold calling. So it does work. The problem is I couldn't multiply my time any more than I had. So I only had a 3-hour block to make calls, and I only had so many hours in the day to go on listing appointments. So with that, I was running out of time. In addition to that, I was pregnant, and I didn't want to spend that much time with other people. No offense, but I would much rather spend time with my family. So those things kind of coalesced, and it just turned into a Kayla, something's got to give. And that's when I found passive prospecting, because the universe is amazing. If you are hearing this right now, it's probably for a reason.
Let's go.
You may be where I was. You may be finding it difficult the last 2 years to get deals. And here's what I'll tell you. And if you don't mind me sharing a few numbers here, it's really the proof is in the numbers. I was always a consistent closer between 30 and 45 deals a year. And I started doing passive prospecting in YouTube in my worst year yet. It was, I think year 8 in the business or 7 in the business. Terrible year. The numbers were awful by the end of that year. By the following year, I doubled my numbers. The following year after that, I doubled my numbers. So last year, this is probably the year that we were on the podcast. But by the end of that year, I did $720,000 as an independent agent, single agent. It was just me. I did have to hire a showing assistant. So she also made quite a bit, which is great out of that. But it morphed into this. Whereas right now, I pulled my numbers before we came on here. Right now, I'm already at 25 million in volume, closed or under contract, which is nuts. And another, I think, 3 million that's about to come, which is great. So it compounds, it grows. And I'm going to tell you right now, last year, 70% of my business was YouTube. This year, it's closer to 80% is YouTube. So could you imagine making $600,000 already 6 months into the year? That's where I'm at. Now, granted, I always count my overall GCI. My showing assistant has already made 47,000 of that, which I'm very happy. Here's the thing. 100% of zero is still zero. Get the people in your world that you need to keep growing, but be excited that people are earning. And that's what I love to do. So the numbers are staggering. I can't believe I am where I am 6 months into this year, which is crazy.
Wow. Congratulations. That's awesome. And it's amazing how you can take control like that and not have to live and die by the leads coming in, the calls that you have to make, and the relationships you have to build. And it's something to be said about this whole process where people build this like parasocial relationship with you. They know they can trust you and they already want to work with you. And you don't really have to take the time, where anyone who's viewing now or watching in the future, we know how it goes. You get that one that you got to call, you got to text, you got to email, you got to on and on and on. You're like, okay, I've spent how much time? Yeah. And then you go through the breakdown after it's all said and done. With all due respect, right? We want to serve our clients. It's just you go through the end of it and you're like, okay, like I've made next to nothing and spent so much time. And now I got to make it up to my husband. I got to now make it up for my son. Like I lost that time.
So here's a comparison here. I just shared a minute ago, 3 hours of cold calling a day, 5 days a week. I was on the road showing, going out and convincing people that I was better than the other 6 agents they're going to meet with, or 20 that called them. I have, just for an example of one of my videos, I think over the last 3 years, it's now achieved basically like 10 months worth of viewing. Like 24/7, 10 months worth of viewing from an ideal viewer. You know how long it took me to make that video?
How long?
30 minutes.
Wow.
A 30-minute video has now been seen and basically ingested by my ideal client who's seeking it, not just throwing it in front of people. They are seeking it and watching it. 10 months worth, 24/7. Isn't that nuts? Like, and in fact, I had one day on my channel that the amount of hours, like viewing hours that it received, it was, I think, gosh, what was it? It was like several days worth of viewing in one day. It was like 2 months worth of viewing in one day.
Wow.
Like on my channel. So that's where I'm saying you can comprehend. I could spend 3 hours cold calling every day and do it over and over and over. But by doing something once and then allowing the system to compound that, it's the compounding of time. That's why this is so important. That's why I preach it. I love it. I do it. Everyone I know, my brother actually is getting his license next month or in 2 months. And we're opening another channel up in Asheville. Like this works. It works if you work it. I know we're going to go into some of the details and the basics of that, but I really want to emphasize, if you want to stop working and doing the same thing over and over, why do we have templates? Why do we do anything? If we do it more than once, we make a template for it, right? To cut down time. Why aren't we doing that with our prospecting? Why are we banging our heads against the wall for this, or paying companies to get crap leads because someone clicked on a pretty photo?
Amen. 100%.
No.
I love that. It's so true. And with all that being said, now you all have some basics here. And so now let's go into the nitty gritty and specifically what you could do to get started on YouTube now. So let's start with the first question as far as YouTube 101, how to get started on YouTube, and how to get started is from the perspective of, does a channel name make a difference? And also niche. What does it look like when you niche down for a channel with the content you're going to be filming?
I love this question because some people overthink this way too much. So let's start with the first one, the channel name. Channel name isn't as important as you think it is. Now, here's the parts that are important. It's not going to be Kayla Lindsay, realtor extraordinaire, right? No one wants to connect with that. We have to come from service first, providing the information, providing the content, providing what they need. Then they know, like, and trust us, and then they're going to follow our calls to action, which I'll talk about in a little bit. So the name of the channel needs to match what the content is, but it shouldn't necessarily be, I'm the number one realtor, I'm with this company, I'm with that company. They don't care. They don't care. You got to earn the right for them to care. And by providing information, you will. So let me explain why the name is important then, because otherwise the question is, well, then why put a name up anyway? The name is important for two main reasons. One, you do need to basically encompass, what is this channel about? What is it about? The second part is people are going to come search for you, but not in the way that you think. They're not going to go, oh, let me go find that channel that I don't know exists about this particular thing. Instead, they're going to see your videos, whether they are suggested from your homepage as someone logs into YouTube, because YouTube tracks what you do and it puts the right stuff in front of you. You ever get into YouTube, like, to do something productive, and you're like, oh, that's a good video. Oh, that's a good video. How does it know me so well? It does. And I get videos because my son has puppies all the time. So with that, it'll either be suggested to them, or they might log in and start searching questions. And that's where your keywords and your SEO play the role, but it doesn't have anything to do with the title of your channel. All right. But what's going to happen is they start watching your videos. Then they do subscribe to the channel. Then they start seeing the channel name popping down in their little notifications. Living in Charlotte, NC just posted a video. Living in Charlotte, NC just, or, hey, I've been watching that channel. This chick in Charlotte. Let me go find her channel. I know I subscribed. It's more of a nameplate, right? Like, I could say, okay, your name's Norman. I don't have anything to go with that, right? And actually, I'm terrible with names, to be perfectly honest. Who else there's terrible with names? I'm terrible. Like, I will know a face. I will know what you're about. I will know what you do for a living. I will know your favorite place to go parasailing. Like, I will know all those things, and I will not know your name. So start thinking about that when you're creating the name. Just have it more focused on the topic that you're talking about. Now, let's talk about niche, because this is important. There's a few things when it comes to niche. I'm going to talk about a few aspects to this. You want to focus on your main person. So what I want everybody to do, if you are listening or watching this, I want you to write down, create my avatar. Now, this is used in digital marketing. This is used in MLMs. This is used in any sales experience anywhere. What does that mean? It means, who is my ideal client? And you're going to say, everyone can buy a house. Yes, there are $1 million buyers, and there are $100,000 buyers with a 420 credit score. There are people that know what they want and know their timeline. And there's people that just want to shop and they'll buy when they buy. There are people that are very financially sound and are willing to listen to you. And then there's people who think that they're the smartest, or their dad that got a license 16 years ago and lives in Omaha knows better than you do. You get to choose who you work with, but the information and the way you speak and what you put out there is going to determine what you get back. In fact, I've increased my average price point by $200,000 over the last 2.5 years, because I'm specifically targeting showing certain houses on my channel, talking about certain topics like private schools and the best schools, the most affluent areas. I use language patterns that will attract individuals that are of a certain caliber, the people I want to work with. Now, for those of you going, oh, she only wants rich people, that's not true. In fact, my avatar is folks that are needing to move here for work or relocate for family. Why? They're relocating. My whole channel is about relocating the area. People that don't know about the area yet and are feeling it out. It's to give them information on these areas to see which one works for them. My avatar has 2.5 kids and a dog. They enjoy beer. Their price range is between $700 and $1.5. And guess who I attract the most? People with 2, maybe 3 kids, love dogs. They like to hang out. They're millennials, which, by the way, millennials make up about 35%. Actually, no, on mine it's 35%. So between that, like 32 to 44 age range, about 38% of my viewers are that age range. But in general, millennials are the highest percentage of people that are doing their research on YouTube. So if you are not trying to target them, you are missing the boat, but you need to put out the right content. Yeah, exactly. When people are talking about, oh, there's a huge transfer of wealth coming from the boomers, that's true. they are not researching on YouTube to move anytime soon, right? So the people that are moving are the ones, with even friends of mine, they're like, hey, we're leaving Ohio. We think Charlotte. I'm like, yes, I will send you all the videos. So let me get back a little bit more into where we're talking about niche. So niche down on your avatar. Who do you want to work with? And when you're talking, talk to them. Like if you name them, hey, Jessica is her name, is my avatar. Cool. I'm not going to say Jessica in my videos, but I'm going to picture what Jessica would want to know. She'd laugh if I threw a dad joke out there. Now, side note, as you start getting your channel going, by the way, you're going to figure out what demographic you're seeing more of. 64% of my viewership is men. How crazy is that? So 64% is men. Now, males tend to be a little bit more analytical in general, which means they're going to do more research just statistically. But it's very interesting to see that. So as we're looking at this now, I have a very clear picture of what's my niche, who are my people. So let's talk about niching of your channel though. Does anybody remember, and you probably remember this, Norman, does anybody remember what Discovery Channel used to be? Right? When you turn it on, you'd see like cheetahs chasing zebras, right? Like that, other cultures and other worlds, like that would be what you'd see. Do you see that on Discovery Channel? No, they started putting old dudes on there that were looking at storage sheds. Like, I mean, that has how it pivoted. Well, start thinking about you as an ideal viewer. If you're coming to a channel and you want to learn about Charlotte, North Carolina and moving in the area and the town and the schools and what the home prices and values are and the best pockets and worst pockets to be in, and all of a sudden I throw out a video about, hey, here's the best way to sell your house. Or, hey, here's a coffee shop. This is the best coffee shops. It starts throwing it off. Be very specific. Make the channel about what it's about. And then if you want to deviate, make a new channel. So I screwed my channel up even doing shorts. I do not recommend doing shorts at all. But what happened was I started being inconsistent with my videos. I always tell people where I screw up. I started getting inconsistent with my long form, went heavy into short form because I wanted to get something out, screwed up my channel. And then I got it back by completely ditching shorts and doing 2 videos a week consistently every week at the same time. My channel is exploding right now. So, but I had to niche down. I had to get back to what it was really about, which is that long form video for the viewer that really wants the deep research. I'm going to be launching another channel here soon just for listings. I'm going to be launching potentially another channel just for shorts and then pull them all back into my long form. But keep it separate. Imagine channels on TV. This is my Discovery 1. Discovery 2 will be my shorts. And then my National Geographic is my listing channel. But they all have a different message and they all have a different viewer. So you don't want them to go, this video doesn't apply to me. Make sure every video applies to them.
I love that. That's super smart. And thanks so much for giving us more insights. Because I think that it's one thing to talk about the fluff. It's another thing to talk about the good, bad, and the ugly, and what's going on from that perspective. And I love how you talked about the psychology forefront of how you navigate the process of even making jokes because you know who you're speaking to. And that's something I'm working on with our YouTube channel on the Let's Talk Agent side. And it's been a little bit of a process, but at the end of the day, it's different for me. I'm used to consultative selling, and I consult and I meet and do strategy calls instead of the other side, which is like thinking about your avatar and the topic and who you're talking to and continuously hooking them to keep them on and keep them viewing for the entirety of the video, which we'll talk about here soon. So the next question I have, which goes directly into what you're just talking about, is what would be the first 10 videos that our viewers can actually take on notes and note down for them to film in a specific niche like you talked about? Like, what would be the first top 10 that you would film for relocation to Charlotte, North Carolina?
Love this. So a lot of people get caught up in the prettiness of video, right? They go, I don't want to stand in front of my camera. By the way, we haven't gotten into it. This is the only tool I've ever had. It's a 3 or 4 year old Samsung Galaxy. I'm actually just ordering a new one this Saturday because this is supposed to crap out. But
surprised not to see you on the iPhone. I got Android.
Never. I love it when I do something on my phone and iPhone users go, "Oh, that's cool. That's mine doesn't do that." But it's okay. So along with that though, the top 10 videos, don't get too fancy with it. That's my first bit of advice. Stop getting fancy with it. Stick to the actual script. And when I mean the script is these videos, because this is going to get you the best views possible. So when you're coming in, you're creating your new channel, no one is looking for it. No one is viewing it. What you need to do is you go ahead, first off, get TubeBuddy. Just get it. It's like $14 a month. It is literally my best friend. I use it every day. When you get that, utilize the keywords. Go into the keyword explorer and start typing in the cities and towns around where you live. So for example, I'm in a major city. It's Charlotte. Type that one in. There's 3.18 million searches a month that have that keyword in it on YouTube. Write that down. Go to the next town. Huntersville. Type it in. There's 800,000. I'm making this one up because I can't remember the stat. 800,000 searches per month. Okay. Go to the next one. Go to every town. Don't worry about neighborhoods. Go to towns. Do every town in the area. Do 10 to 15 of them. And then rank them based upon how many searches there are. I was stunned when I did this because I was like, oh, these are going to be the most popular ones. And I was so wrong. It was Charlotte, then Fort Mill, then it was this one over here. I mean, it was not at all in the order I would have guessed. So if I would have just winged it and started with Charlotte and then went to this other one because that's the one I like, I would have missed the ball. Because what you want to do is if those are the highest search terms or search the most, that gives you a better opportunity for your video to show up. Of that 3 million people searching that search term for Charlotte, you can be one of those 3 million videos after that search popping up. You understand? So we want to front load the channel to make sure you have the opportunity to get the most searches of people as possible in those first few weeks. So here's what you're going to do. Once you have your list of towns, you're going to go ahead and take that. And now you're going to do a little bit of research. There are 4 videos you're going to do of each of those towns. Ready? Number 1, a pro and con tour. Or I'm sorry, I'm trying again. Pros and cons video. So this is going to be naming a bunch of pros and cons about the area. Now I always tweak it a little bit to say, yeah, we may have like, rat-sized palmetto bugs. Not really. They're big. But that's not a reason to leave the city. We also have, this, and this, so you make a little positive spin. But I do the pros and cons. Video number 2 is going to be a vlog tour. By the way, not in this order, record them at whatever order you want, but record one city, then the next city, then the next city. Get all those videos done at that one because you already did the research. So the next one is going to be that vlog tour. This is where you walk around town, you video the area. Please feel free to go to one of my videos and take a look at how I do this. It's super simple. I actually don't do a whole lot of research. I'll like show up to the town, Google some stuff and be like, oh, that's some fun facts. And then just put the camera in front of me and be like, da 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 da. Write it down if you're nervous. It's okay. I just can ad lib better now. And then the third video you're going to do of this is going to be a map tour. This is literally a screen recording video. I jump on Google, click around, show people things. This is the commute times. This is how far you are from things. Here's the hospital. Here's the school. Here's the areas that you might like. Here's some really great neighborhoods. And then here's some price ranges. And then done, right? So easy peasy in and out. The fourth video you're going to do on a town. Now, this one is where it gets a little bit tricky, but I usually like to do a home tour having to do with that town. So in my vlog, I'll go drive past houses, be like, this house over here is worth blah, blah, blah. And then I go to the next one. This house over here is like in 3 different price ranges. But the home tour is literally that, a home tour. Do your own listings or a new construction. Don't do other agents' houses, especially because you can't do it without permission. And then you need permission from them and the seller. And then it gets a little complicated and I just don't like legality issues. So I only do homes that are either model homes or new construction that the builder signed off and is like, yeah, no problem. But they're always staged well. They look awesome, right? So it gets to put your best foot forward and usually the price point's higher. So those are the 4, but I do it in that town because then in each video, the research I already did on the median home values and the economy and this and that, I mention in each video. As I'm doing the house tour, I'll flip it on myself and be like, hey, so, and as I mentioned, I always do this way. Hey, as I mentioned earlier, or as you might have seen in one of my other videos, sometimes I don't even reference that. Here's the thing. We imagine people have seen every video we've ever put out. What if this is the first video they're ever seeing of us? I get agents all the time. They're like, well, there's no new information. Like, I don't know what else to put in it. Say the same thing. It's okay. It's going to come out slightly different, but this might be the very first video they're seeing. So why not just repeat some information? So I bring that info, the same info to each one, just presenting it slightly differently, which is also going to hit on different personalities. Some people find me on a pro con. Some people find me on a vlog tour. Pros and cons people, those are analyticals. My vlog people, those are usually my high eyes, right? High eyes and sometimes high Ds. They want all the information. They want to see it. They want to experience it. So we're not reinventing the wheel. So you asked the first 10 videos. So where does that leave us? That's at 4, right?
Yep.
Well, let's go one more with 5. This is where you can do more specific videos, like a listicle, which would be like top 5 this, top 5 that, 5 private schools, best schools. You could do best towns for tax advantages. I did one that was like the 5 best cities to move to in North Carolina. That was very broad. So it brought viewership from other areas, but it also brought people thinking about Raleigh that are like, oh, Charlotte actually looks better. So those are listicles. Always go the 5th to the 1st. No one wants to stick around to the end of the video to see the 5th of a country or a town. They want to stay around to see the 1st. So that'll put you at 5. Then repeat that. Get to your next town. Do the same videos again. Does that make sense? So with 2 towns, you've already got 10 videos. Now you've also got another 12 to 15 towns that you can do videos on. You will have videos out the butt. I think I am on video 1 or 204.
Wow.
Yeah, I did 6 months of 2 videos a week and then dropped it down to 1 video a week moving forward. Then when I was correcting my channel, I ramped it back up to 2 a week consistently. So I've been going at that for about 6 months now.
Wow. Congratulations. I love that. And it's nice because the first thing that comes to my mind is like when you first do it, like the first 5 videos in that first city might be a little rough. And then by the time you get to the 5th city, you've done it so many times that like you're going to find your rhythm. So I really like how you're keeping it simple, Kayla, and just like, hey, here's the 5, don't overcomplicate and just duplicate over and over and over again. So
get in a rhythm and just keep going.
I love that. I love that. Okay. So next question is so batching. So when you film your content, what are some tips as far as front of the desk, head talk, and out in the field filming? How do you balance that out? And do you batch? Do you film like 2-3 weeks all at once? And do you have like a mix of like in front of the desk head talk and then going out in the field?
Gosh, I used to do so much. I'm always a very honest person. I used to do so much better at batching. The last several weeks between, I have 18 clients under contract right now and 4 listings going live. It's a lot. So with that being said, my batch recording is very behind, as you can ask my editor. However, this is the best way to do it, is to get ahead of it. And here's some of the reasons for this. You're not going to get stuck in a situation where, oh, shoot, I'm supposed to be booking. Oh, I'm supposed to drop a video in like a day or 2 days and I don't have anything, right? And then you're scrambling to try and record. So I recommend pick one day. I wouldn't do an entire month just because personally my calendar can't handle that. It's almost too much for me to think about. So I will pick one day of the week that I do my recording. And it'll be, 2 to 3 videos that I'll record that week. And then I go on to the next one. Now, if you're already behind, doing some extras would be a good thing. So you've got something on, just in case if you get sick or you go out of town or what have you, it's good to have it. But I understand inclement weather, things happen. When that happens, you're going to notice on my channel, winter weather, I'm inside for most of my videos. Okay. Once it warms up, then I'm doing more of my vlog tours. I hate the cold. I really do. I hate it. And so all that being said, when you're doing your batching, this is part of the reason why I say pick one city and then do all the videos on that city, then to move to the next one. You don't want to have to sit down and research things, right? Mm-hmm. Do the pros and cons one first, in my personal opinion, because you're going to pull information pros and cons wise. That information is very easy to then duplicate into a map tour. You don't have to say, this is a pro and this is a con. You just drop the nugget in the video and keep going. I can use the exact same thing in my vlog tour. I can use the exact same thing in the home tour as I'm touring a Pulte home. Hey, so the coolest thing about this is where it's located in Huntersville, North Carolina. You've actually got easy access to this road, and this road. And did you know the commute time to Uptown is actually only about 25 to 30 minutes if you go this route? This is going to put you in a great spot. By the way, I would have said the same thing in a map tour. I also would have said the same thing in the pros and cons as I'm talking about commute times. I would have said the same thing while I'm walking down in Birkdale Village or in Huntersville proper, where I'm talking about commutes. So all this information is the same. I don't use a script. I've got the info. This is how long it takes. Now I ad lib it and I talk about it to my ideal client in the way they want to hear it. So that's all that it's about. So that's why I recommend the batching, because you've got the same content and you're repeating it over and over and over in slightly different ways. But if you had to keep reinventing the wheel every single video, it's really tiring. So if you're batching all for the same town, you're in a much better spot.
Wow. I love that. That makes a whole lot of sense. And definitely you make it seem so simple. It doesn't need to be so complicated. And
it's really not hard. The hardest thing, to be honest, the hardest thing is getting the time to do it, which this sounds terrible. I had way more time to do it back when I had less business.
Yeah.
When things pick up and things get busy and you got due diligence request and an issue with this over here, and then, real estate as it is, and then life on top of that, like childcare being out, and then this and that, those are really the issues. But guess what? Those issues always existed, right? So if you are sitting here going, I don't have time to prospect, well, then this is the only thing you do have time for. If you can set aside, and I'm doing 2 videos a week, so I need to be recording 2 to 3 a week to get, ahead of where I'm at. If you're doing 1 a week, awesome. Record 1 to 2 a week and do it 2 weeks in advance. So you've gotten ahead of it, and YouTube's going to work for you now. So you don't have to worry about it. Like when we have childcare out, or I was coaching for passive prospecting the other day. It's a 3-day event. And then the day after that, I flew to Florida, and then I was out for 5 days. And I came back, had 10 hours of CE, and then I went to this other thing. And the entire time I was prospecting 24/7, and I was getting leads coming in. I had a guy, he's actually like, yeah, we got to talk Saturday. I'm coming in on Monday. I need to leave with a house on Friday. And I'm like,
wow.
Let's get you your cash. I like it.
Wow. Congratulations. See, passive prospecting, building those relationships in your sleep, which is huge.
Yeah.
So this is going to help them. Next question. It's going to help them with the process of, okay, now they understand the videos to film, talk a little bit about niche, talk about the channel name, and love the process of the way that you just on the fly videos, just repeat the process over and over again. How do you keep the viewers hooked? So that way, like, is there any secret sauce or something that you would recommend to keep their attention high? Because I know a lot of times, right? A lot of times people will drop off at a certain point. So how does that work out for you?
Well, it's not just the pretty face. I will say that. No. By the way, it doesn't matter, ladies. If I have blemishes, I really don't like wearing makeup. So I will get on with all the blemishes. I don't care, nor do they. I still get leads. So just do you. They will still show up. So in talking about that, the hook, there's a process that I go through basically because I studied my own videos. This is really how I figured out what was working and what wasn't. Me and my editor sat down, we looked at several videos that were performing well. And here's what performing well to me looks like. It's outpacing viewership than my average video. The other thing that I look at is percentage viewed. I want it to stay above 20%. So if you're looking at your chart, right, and it's going down and down and down on viewership, that's normal. It's totally normal. I'm not Mr. Beast. No one is staying to watch all my craziness, right? So it's going down and down and down. But I want to make sure at the end of that quadrant, as everything drops off at the end of the video, that at least 20% or more stayed tuned up until the last minute, at least, of the video. Because what that means is they're just logging off when I'm like, and this was the end of the video. So that means they got all the content, which is great. That's where I want them to be. The other thing that I look at is the drop off rate. So when you're looking at the first 30 seconds of your video, it will be highlighted as you get going and you're doing this and you're studying your analytics. I'm not an analytical person, by the way. So I look at the high level and I can notice patterns, but I don't get into the nitty gritty. Like I love Levi because he's like, you got to be over 5%. You're doing this here and you got 20 to 30 in your viewership. But if you're 40, you're great. I'm like, I've never even looked at that. I do now, but I don't go much deeper than that. So don't overthink it. But that first 30 seconds, you want to keep your drop off rate low. All right. So what I mean by that is there's always going to be a drop off. It is where they saw your thumbnail, they saw the title of your video, and they're thinking that might be the video for me. They click on the video and they are making their determination in the first 30 seconds whether this is the video they should be watching.
Yes.
The first 30 seconds is where you see your biggest drop off of viewership. It's okay. It's normal. It's not you. It's just not aligning with what they're looking for. So what I do in those first 30 seconds, which I have some that have, like I had one that had less than a 30% drop off, which is really good. Like, I mean, honestly, 30% drop off is decent for my videos, in my opinion. I've had some that are terrible where you got like a 42% drop off. And it's like, oh, you really didn't like that. Okay. But I'm learning. It means that something was off. There was a disconnect between my title and my thumbnail, and then I can go tweak it, right? So in that first 30 seconds, what I'm doing is I'm giving them a trailer. And that's what I call it. I call it a trailer. When we go to the movie theater or we see, anything, like we see a trailer come on for a video or movie that's coming out, what do? We see the title and we're like, intriguing. And we see like the image of the poster. And we're like, all right, well, what's this about? And then we watch the trailer, right? And the trailer is that final thing to say, let's go watch the movie. Let's click it on Netflix. Let's do that thing. And then like everybody else, you watch 30 seconds and you're like, bye. No. You watch that trailer and you determine, okay, is this a movie I want to go see? Is this intriguing enough to me for me to sit in it and watch it? And that's what I do. So in that first 30 seconds, I'm going to use an example. Lake life. Lake Norman is the largest lake on the southeast, right? Man-made specifically. So what I'll jump in is if it's a video all about lake life, I'll say, hey, so you might be thinking about moving to the Charlotte, North Carolina area, but you want to be near water. Well, there are several lakes in and around Charlotte, but in this video, I'm going to take you through the top 4 towns around Lake Norman, the largest man-made lake on the East Coast, to share with you which town might be the best for you. Now, be sure to stick around to the very end because there is a very unusual fact about Lake Norman that might have you running for the hills. So that end piece was my hook. Right? I told them exactly what we're going to do. There's lots of lakes. We're going to talk about this one and the towns that surround it. We're going to talk about the lifestyle. You could go into more detail even. Like we're going to talk about the population density, the schools, the environment, the commute time, so you can determine which one's best for you. That's enough information for someone to say, cool, that's the info I'm going to get out of this. Let me watch. Right? They're coming to YouTube because they're an audio-visual person. They don't want to read a bunch of crap. So they're not going to read the description half the time, right? Description's mostly there for SEO. I never read descriptions. I love YouTube because it's just going to tell me what I need to know. They can find this info anywhere, but they're coming to video because that's where they want to learn from, right? So that first 30 seconds, that's what I'm doing. Then I go ahead, I have my short 4-second intro video. I come out of it, have my call to action, and then we get into the meat of it. We go right into the meat. Now, here's something where I've messed up before, and my editor is the one that pulled it out, and he noticed it because when he's doing the edits. He goes, Kayla, you do your trailer, and then we do our little intro video of 4 seconds. You do your call to action, and then you kind of do a trailer again, and I'm noticing a drop off. And I'm like, that's a good point. I'm repeating myself. People want speed. I already told them what it was going to be about. I need to just jump into the meat of it right after it. No more fluff, no more anything. So what I'll do is a little kind of like transition pieces. So let's talk about the history of this area. How did it come to be? And then I'll go into the facts, something quick, right? So it's about speed, but it's about giving them exactly what they're looking for without the fluff. We've heard plenty of orators who speak, what do they call it? Like word salads. I've heard it many, many times from many, many speakers. You don't want to be the word salad person. Okay. They're coming for facts. They're coming for speed. That's why they're here. Just give it to them and give them as much content as you possibly can. That's going to be the big thing. So yes, that is how I do my hook. And I'll reveal my hook to you guys before the end of this call, because you're probably like, well, what is going on with Lake Norman? I won't tell you yet. I
love that. No, that's super smart. And I feel from a outside perspective, is the fluff and that extra sometimes could be nerves or overthinking, right? And it's like, you just got to get straight to the point. And like, I find myself doing as well. You put in those fillers because you're still thinking instead of being in that flow state. So the last question I have that's going to round it all out is, you're filming the videos, you're going through the process. Let's talk CTAs, call to actions, and conversion. So
Yeah.
what is some of the things that you're doing to make that happen? And that's going to tie directly into the second segment of our event when I go into more of like the website and the maps and the guides and all that type of stuff. So what is it that you put in your videos to get all this conversion?
It's just me. It's just, I just project, call me, right? No.
I love it.
Yeah. Calls to action are extremely important. Extremely important. Most, I think, of the folks that are probably on here are real estate agents. This works honestly for any industry, but it has to do with the call to action. So here's what's going on. You get onto this video, you're a viewer. I'm giving you a ton of content and information. You're like, wow, this is awesome. And then they leave. See, me, I had a channel prior. Nothing really worked from it. I was actually agent facing for coaching and things like that. I never got anybody to call me. And I was like, man, this is really weird. I'm putting out this great content and no one is reaching out to me. I don't know why. And I actually really had to think about that. And the funny part about it is I was coaching and teaching for people to do a call to action. When you're having a buyer consult, when you're having a listing appointment, right? For those of you watching right now live, drop it in the comment box. How many times have you gone to a listing appointment and left without the listing, gotten in your car, but what the hell just happened? Like, I had it in the bag. We were having a great conversation. They liked it. They agreed with everything I said. You know why? Because you didn't pull the contract out and slide it across the desk and go, cool, sounds like everything's going to work out with us. Go ahead and sign here. And then just shut up, right? We just say nothing, let them do their thing, or object. Those are the only two options, right? You're either walking out with a contract, you're going to answer every question and walk out with a contract. The problem is we don't ask. We make assumptions that we know what we want from people, right? I assume my viewer knows that I want them to call me. They don't know. They have no idea. They just say, wow, that info was great. That kale is awesome. And then they move on, right? Then they jump onto Zillow or they jump onto wherever. So what you need to do is you need to be very specific with your call to action. No fluff, no nothing. Now my calls to action, I have 2, right? And I put them out there 3 times in my video. One is a bit more passive. The other 2 are very active, but the one that is seen more than any other is my initial call to action. I'm asking for them to do something, then I'm giving them value, asking again, giving value, asking again. All right, so do you mind if I run through mine just to give you guys an idea of what this looks like?
Take it away.
So I've got 2 calls to action. I'm going to roll them both together and then I'll break them down for you. I'll do it quickly so I don't run over. So we get back from my little intro video of 4 seconds and I say, hey, if you're looking for everything Charlotte, North Carolina, the ins, the outs, good and the bad, and everything in between, you have come to the right channel. We post about everything Charlotte, North Carolina. So click on the subscribe button and be the first to know about all upcoming changes coming to our city. Then I jump into the next part. I'm Kayla Lindsay, your Charlotte, North Carolina real estate expert. We get calls, texts, emails, Zoom invites every single day from people just like you looking to make the move to the Charlotte, North Carolina area. So if that's you, drop down into the description below. All of our contact information is there. If you are moving in 9 days or 90 days across the world, across the country, or just across town, we're here to make your move everything you want it to be. Now, there's a few things I did there that you might not recognize. A lot of it has to do with neuro-linguistic programming. First off, I made the connection. Other people are calling us, texting us, and emailing us. Other people are doing it, right? What do we do in an open house? The first time we walk into an open house to set it up, we write into the sign-in, right? To pretend that someone else was there before the first viewer. Because when someone walks in and sees someone else's name down, we inherently go, oh, I guess it's okay. And we start writing. But if it's blank, we go, I don't want to write my name there, right? It's just a psychological thing. It's weird, right? So I tell them other people are doing this. It's okay. People want to follow. It makes them feel comfortable. Number 2, I use the word we. Now at first, and you'll see some of my videos, if you go watch them, some of them I say I know, but I've been very focused on this, especially as of late, because as I'm growing out a team, I want to make sure that people know it might not be me. In fact, most people are shocked when I'm the one that actually jumps on the video call. They don't expect me. They expect me to be off making videos and to talk to my team. So keep that in mind. As you get prepared to expand, be prepared before it actually happens. The next thing I'm telling them is, why should you call me? Well, if you're moving here, this is something you should do. And I want you to go below into the description to get all of our information. There's a reason I don't put contact information in the physical video itself. If that info ever changes, I can't retroactively go back and change any video on YouTube. I can change the title, the thumbnail, the description, everything. I cannot change the video itself. So don't put your contact info in the video. Now, after that, I tell them, a time frame. If you're moving in 9 days or 90 days, some people have called me in 24 hours. Some people have called me when they're a year and a half out, and that's okay. I want to give them a time frame. And I want to tell them where they can call me if they're moving from. I've helped people in New Zealand, South Africa, the Philippines, Vietnam, England, Germany, France, Canada, all of these places to move here to Charlotte, North Carolina. So I tell them around the world, call me. It's fine. Let me know. Now, the next call to action that I have is halfway through the video, we do a slide up right here, right at the bottom that says, hey, if you're thinking of making the move, check out all our contact information in the description below. Well, what I realized was when I started looking at my analytics, 58% of it was 58. Now it's like 54. 54% of my viewers are watching it on a TV. And I said to my editor, well, how are they dropping down into the description to get my contact info? And he's like, oh, well, Kayla, you just do this thing on your mic. And I'm like, no, think about this. I am a YouTuber and I don't know how to do it. Why am I expecting my ideal client to know how to do that? So what I did was, instead of putting out information that could potentially change in the future, I used my website. Because a website, think about this. If you're seeing it on your TV, if you're seeing it on your phone, you can scroll down and hit description. If you're viewing it on your TV, there's too many clicks, but you're holding your phone, right? We watch TV while holding our phones, don't we? Yeah. So they're like, oh, that's cool. Pause, www.da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Now they're on my website. That is something that I do embed in my videos. The reason being, it's something that's not scary because I'm always going to have the URL, whether it's me running my team or someone in the future, or I sell my company or I sell my YouTube channel. It doesn't matter. That website will always be married. It's the same name. It's livingcharlottenc.com. It goes right along with it. It's not an IDX site. It's not anything like that. It is a dedicated webpage specifically for my YouTube channel. And that is where I send them. So now people that are watching on the TV have an opportunity to go ahead and find me outside of that. And then at the end, I do the same thing in my outro. But by that time, I've usually gotten down to about 20% viewership. So less people see the outro. I'm still going to give them a call to action regardless. So that was a little long-winded, but hopefully you guys got a little bit out of that.
I think that was great. You really end-to-end gave them everything they need to think about from all 5 of those questions. And we've had more people come in. So this is recorded. You will get a copy. We're live also on YouTube as well. And welcome to today and this month's webinar. And Kayla has just dropped the bombs on information and things to do to be able to really maximize YouTube. And I just love it. It's a psychology game. At the end of the day, you've dropped all these terms of psychology that you would use, and it's reverse engineering the process of how you drive the conversation. And I'm really curious for the next, I'm really excited for the next segment, because now I want to go into and show some of the ways that I know that we also work with individuals like channel junkies, where because 50%, like you said, viewers are watching on TV, they put the QR code up. So you can scan the QR code, go directly over to the YouTube channel. And now we're even seeing individuals utilizing the map to be able to change the way individuals actually like search and watch videos, because they can go to your site and they can like click on the map and be like, I want to go to this area. And there's a playlist with all those subsequent videos specifically for that area. So, so that was awesome, Kayla. I really appreciate all this insight. If you have any questions, go ahead and drop in the comment box. We can go ahead and answer a question now before we get to the next segment. And also, Kayla, for anyone who potentially wants to go deeper with the opportunity to work with y'all with passive prospecting and coaching, how would they even do that before we get to the next segment here?
There is, and I can even send it to you so you can put it in the description below. We have plenty of webinars that we're constantly doing. We have a giant 3-day event where I go in detail, like screen share, show you everything on the back end of my systems, my processes, everything I do as an independent agent. I think that's one of the biggest differences with myself and Levi and Travis. Levi and Travis are a partnership, right? So Levi does the videos and Travis goes out and makes it happen for the sales. I'm the one-man show or one-woman show. So Yeah, I'm a mom. Yeah, I'm an independent agent. Yeah, I'm now expanding a team because I have too many leads. But I show how you can get in and manage and do all this as an independent agent, and how it's truly opened me up for opportunity with time and freedom.
Mhm.
So I can drop a link, but you could also check it out if you go to passiveprospecting.com. You can usually register for our webinars right there.
Love that. I love that. That's awesome. All right, we're gonna get to the next segment. We did start about 10 minutes later today. If you're just tuning in, life happens, real estate, life, scheduling, the whole nine. We're gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna share my screen so you can actually see a presentation, and we're gonna show you a little bit of what Kayla's up to, and then also some ways that you can navigate the process to be able to have more success with this whole philosophy that we've been talking about today. So share my screen. Can you see that on your side, Kayla?
Yep, it is there.
All right, fantastic. So how do you transform your website into a 24/7 hub? So when you're filming these YouTube videos, you can maximize the opportunity to be able to continuously drive the conversation. Because I can imagine, Kayla talked earlier, you talked a little bit about the fact that not everyone wants to buy like the cash buyer you have like over a weekend. They might be 8, 10 months out. So how could you potentially keep that relationship going on the YouTube channel and also potentially on your website? And we're going to talk about that today. So our team, Kayla actually said something about the Philippines. Our team is in the Philippines. We were in Bohol, Philippines last November. So that was us there having a good old time. That's the team. And how's it going? I didn't really introduce myself, but I'm Norman Kinsey III, CEO and co-founder of Liftoff Agent. Been in this industry for almost 11 years. I can't believe it. And have met thousands of agents over the years. Very grateful to be able to serve our industry and come up with creative solutions with technology to have more success overall. Today, we're going to be learning about 11 steps to success to maximize your website, 9 ways to engage buyers, 9 ways to engage sellers, and 10 ways to boost and engage SEO with your website. So going into just a quick little synopsis. If you look here, like you might be thinking like, I'll build a website on like Squarespace. And let's go ahead and go into the presentation mode so I can actually play this. And so you got the basic website that's going to be here on the right. So let's go ahead and bring all this up for you so you can see it. So basic website on the right, and then more of a comprehensive website on the left. The site on the left is just going to be super simple, easy peasy, no big deal. Something that's just going to be showing listings, call me today. And on the one on the right, you'll see is going to be more interactive. So you can actually see this is an agent in Central Texas we work with. She has the testimonials that feed in, her accolades, her call to actions. She has the map so you can search around and be able to look at different areas that she serves. And then you have also another way to be able to show the areas that you serve, featured videos that feed in automatically. And then you can automatically book an appointment and maybe follow her on Instagram. So different ways to navigate the customer journey or the process of someone going from YouTube to potentially your website. Moving on from there, after giving you a little bit of a visual cue. So when you think about 11 steps to success when maximizing your website, these are some things that you could do. You could basically drive the conversation before having it with having unique forms, which I'll show you here in a minute. So you can ask questions to pre-qualify before you actually meet someone. You could also be 10 steps ahead with SEO. So something we've added on is turning every single one of your videos into a blog. So for someone that wants to search on Google and look for things and wants to read and not watch videos, they could do both. They could watch the video. They could also get more information from reading a blog and looking at the photos. Social media, driving them from there to your website. That's one way you can drive more people to your website from social media with good information to help them be able to navigate the buy process, the sell process, or even moving to a new area. YouTube, you could entertain, educate, and intrigue, exactly what we talked about with Kayla. You could also have ads to then do things to retarget the folks that go to your website, drive traffic to your website, and to be able to maximize your ideal client type with ads. You could also have videos, so educating your future clients on not just the area, but maybe this could be another YouTube channel, like Kayla said, have multiple different YouTube channels. Maybe it could be an educational YouTube channel, Education 101 on buying a home, selling a home. What is the process looking like when you buy a home or you sell a home? And here's your 5 videos to watch and your guide to download for help you with the process. You could also have educational guides to be downloaded, and you could have a vendors list potentially on your website to help them with the process of downloading that vendors list to get someone for painting, get someone for pool care, get someone for the lawn care. What about property search? So you can be in control of the data, have them be able to search for homes on your website, and then from there, formal listing presentation. You potentially can have a page like that on your website to be 10 steps ahead and talk about what that process looks like. And then from there, tracking, retargeting, IP address. There's a way we'll talk about here in a second where you can capture first name, last name, and contact information of folks that go to your website, and they don't even need to fill out a thing. It's actually a thing, and you technically have to consent that you don't give your information. And if you don't know this, there's a lot of sites that actually do gather your information based off your IP address. Pretty interesting. Talk about Big Brother.
I'm the weirdo that likes that. I'm like, oh, I did want that. Thank you.
Yeah, right. When you are online, and the next thing you know, you're like the shoes are popping up or something that you're searching. You're like, what the heck? So could do the same thing with your real estate website.
Yeah.
9 steps to engage buyers. So there'll be some things from the buy side and the sell side that will repeat itself, but you got to think about like having a custom search property opportunity. Talked about that in the last slide. Can be control of the data. Maybe someone's found you on YouTube. They're 9 months out. They start searching for homes. They go through that process of setting up property alerts, personalized buyer guide. So building the trust, also adding value with the NAR case, right? Definitely something to take in consideration. I think Kayla, you have that in the bag as far as adding value and NAR case settlement thing. You can.
And honestly, most people don't even know about it.
Yeah, exactly. It was a thing in the media for a minute there, but it's like kind of like not a thing anymore. Having videos on your buy page, we talked about that earlier. What does that look like as far as if they bought with you, not just exploring the area, but going deeper with that? Having the forms that they can fill out. We will show you what those look like here in a second. That could be a part of your standard operating procedure. Testimonials. Hey, why not have either video testimonials on YouTube? They could be unlisted, and then you know who's going to your buy page and how many who are watching that unlisted video, and then it won't hurt your YouTube channel if you wanted to put it on a YouTube channel that is your primary one and you want anyone to see it. And then what about capturing leads from warmly.com? This is what I was talking about earlier. So capturing leads, it's warmly.com. You can sign up for this. It doesn't cost you anything. They'll give you first name, last name, and contact information of folks that go to your website just with the IP address. So they don't have to fill out a form, download a guide, or do anything. And that's something that we actually embed in our websites at liftoffagent.com. Having a basically set up meeting now button. So Kayla talked about this. You talked about this earlier, like setting up, and you say this in your call to action. They have Zoom meetings with me all the time. Well, right, that link could be on the video or on your website.
Yeah. And I do have a QR code too on my main page up in the header. That channel art, we do have a QR code there as well. Because if you're seeing it, it's on your TV. So you can use your phone to do it. You could also see it on your computer, but you're holding your phone, you can scan it.
Exactly. I love that. See, it's all about like, we're coming out with all these, we're calling them like client journeys. And so what does a customer journey look like? Being 10 steps ahead, especially if you're going to go down this road and do what Kayla's doing, you really want to be intentional with your start, top of the funnel, middle of the funnel, bottom of the funnel. And then the interactive maps, so you can be able to explore the areas. Show that to you here in a second. And the last but not least is tying this into your CRM system. So when someone does go to your site and they do download a guide, fill out a form or anything, download your vendors list, what have you, set up a meeting with you with Calendly.com. Having that tie in with your customer relationship management tool, and then doing something like, I know Passive Prospecting uses Go High Level and they already have something set up for you. You could easily be able to have it go through a process where you have text messages that go automatically out, emails that go out automatically to help you be able to save yourself time and keep top of mind. And so here's going to be your workflow for 9 steps on the buyer side. So professional listing presentation page on the buy side. So that could be like talking about what does it look like when working with buyers, sellers before you get there. So having that, so that way they can be able to be sent that page before you actually meet them for maybe a formal listing presentation to add additional value. You can also have vendors resources. So it could be a streamlined home prep process, could be something of value. What about sharing personalized seller guide? Great way to add value as well. They can download that maybe after you send them that page before your formal listing presentation. Having a playlist of videos, of YouTube videos that talk about the selling process, that also feature maybe your past sellers. You could also have written testimonials as well. Next steps, as far as key questions to be asked, testimonials, like I said, video or written. And then you can have lead capture, formula.com. There it is again. And then setting up a meeting now button. So if someone follows you because your YouTube channel and they go to the seller page, because you can attract sellers as well. And Kayla, do you get some sellers from YouTube?
I do. I've gotten several actually.
Okay. Awesome.
And again, I'm focusing, of course, on the ones that aren't sellers, and we're focusing on relocation. But people just so happen to want to do research on another area of town, and before you know it, they're calling me.
Yeah, there you go. Right, and you never know, they're calling on Lindsay or Kayla, and then from there you go through the process, and then they maybe your website, and then maybe they go ahead and go through the process of setting up a automatic meeting with you and jump on your calendar. Yeah. And like I said, all this ties in with your CRM system, so you can just be 10 steps ahead of the process. So let's go ahead and finish these different segments off with the 10 steps to boost engagement in SEO. So when building a website or thinking about like the process of driving someone from YouTube to a website, you want to enhance the UI UX. Our co-founder, Smith Chung, believe it or not, he has his degree in this. He used to work at Google. And
he's very smart.
Right?
I work with him a lot.
Awesome. Smith he's if it wasn't for him, we would not be as far as we are. I'm like the idea guy, the front end guy, but he's like the analytical guy behind the scenes, customer journey, making it all flow. And that's his expertise, UI, UX. And so he does a really good job with where does your eyes go on the site? Where are you and how are you navigating that site, which makes a big difference. Mm-hmm. Video walkthrough tours on the site. This is one that we leverage at liftoffagent.com. The first time you go there, it's like, I give you a video walkthrough tour. This is how you navigate the site. Here's the value. Here's going to be our free resources. I mean, imagine even for your sites out there, if you had a video walkthrough tour for your real estate site, like a video walkthrough tour of a listing, you can navigate them from, hey, they were on YouTube. Now they go to your site. Boom. The first time they go to your site, you can program this so it doesn't happen all the time. It could be annoying if someone went to your site multiple times it's popped up. First time it pops up and it's just like, hey, Kayla here. Just want to go ahead and say, welcome to Charlotte, North Carolina, and would love to be able to help you navigate my site so you can be able to have the best experience possible, potentially relocating, moving to, so on and so forth. And then you can be able to guide them through the process. I love using loom.com, super simple. You can download on your computer, share your screen and yourself. Videoask.com is super cool. I have it on our website. It's a little pop-up on the bottom right of your screen, and you can ask them some questions and take them through a video funnel, which is really cool. You can also do deliberate, speak to your ideal customer type content. Like I said, buy side, sell side, relocation, navigating through the site with that video walkthrough tour, having videos to blogs for SEO. That's great to help boost SEO, especially if you're on YouTube filming content. Amazing buyer content for SEO help, amazing seller content, and like very specific content you can put out there. And then area content, of course, that definitely ties in with YouTube nicely. And then resources, guides to help with SEO. And then the interactive map also helps with that. Jeb Smith, who we had done a webinar with, he indexed on the first page on some of his community focused pages on his map with his website. So those are a couple things to think about. Here's some other things to think about. Like when you have a website, you could potentially maximize that site with a single property website that will also help you with search engine optimization. This is something new. I don't even know if Kayla knows this. This is something new that we actually launched. So that way you can be able to have your videographer go take the photos, do the videos. We can put together a single property website and help with search engine optimization to get more eyeballs to the website. From there, dominate SEO. So with the video to blog, with YouTube, you could definitely be able to rank on number one. This is going to be one of our clients here. This is going to be Nashville, Tennessee. And this is going to be one of our clients, and she is crushing it with YouTube and here's her pros and cons living in. And like Kayla was just talking about, and helps with being able to be found on Google. Then from there, here's the map. So this is going to be an example. Let's go back and play this. Here's going to be an example of a map, and this is going to be with the Channel Junkies, and they have Houston, Texas. And you can click around this map and be able to find out what area you want to move to, and you can actually have a playlist for all of your YouTube videos feed directly into that said location of the map to be able to have more success with the process of navigating them through the process. Where this is Jackson, and Jackson actually puts the map on the screen of his videos and shows people how they can actually, it's a screen recording of the map. He does exactly like I just showed you, puts it up on the YouTube video, and then individuals can get excited to potentially navigate that process from the site. And then having these landing pages, these all can tie into your YouTube videos, whether it's first-time home buyer, relocation, downsize, you want to have new construction, which we talked about with Kayla earlier. And then if you want to have single property websites or even agent attraction, there's lots of different types of guides and also landing pages that we create. And here's Kayla. So she was just talking, and this is actually her testimonial. Thank you so much, Kayla, for your kind words. We're glad the website actually worked for you right out the gate, and it's been something that's been a good tool for you through the process of basically working with us. And we actually featured you on this presentation. We featured you over in California with Team Fast EXP, and so you're always a great model, and we appreciate your time today.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it. Love it. Thank you.
Of course, of course. Here's just going to be a visual of how we get individuals to then download things or for you to be able to capture leads. So you have the relocation guide, first name, email, phone number, access resource. You have Instagram that automatically feeds in. And then on the right-hand side, you have next steps. So ready to take next steps? What does that look like? Well, I'm 12 months out, so you click that. I have a budget of 750 to $1 million, so you click that. And I have pre-approval in hand, or I need to be connected to a preferred lender. And you can have this connect to your CRM system. You can have this also connect with your preferred lender and also go directly to like your phone number. So a text message, here's a new lead, your email as well, which is really cool. So we're just about done. This is going to be something I want to hand out to you all for free. It's just going to be a free resource. There's 10 game-changing tools to maximize your website. I already went over a lot of them. We talked about warmly.com. We talked about Video Ask. That's going to be in here. We talked about the video walkthrough tour. That's all going to be in here and something that you can take advantage of. Speaking of the QR code, we have 8 now live watching on YouTube. So, hey, if you're watching this on your television, go ahead and scan that and get your free guide today. We also have a YouTube channel. Here's Levi Lassick with Passive Prospecting and also Kayla Lindsay, a testimonial that he left with us. We built the site for Passive Prospecting, the site for Levi Lassick and Travis for living in Dallas, Texas, Kayla's site as well. So we really are very grateful for our relationship with them. And we also have an opportunity to go ahead and explore any of and whatever you have going on. So if you want us to explore an obligation strategy call, go deeper with this process to be able to look at what's happening, what are we doing, what's going on from the perspective of your current marketing approach. We'll go deeper in that, and we will also offer you 15% off for your opportunity to work with one another if you find starting up, ramping up, or scaling up works with you in your budget. So that's everything I have today on my side. Let's go back over to StreamYard. And thank you for hanging tight with us, Kayla. We're about 7 minutes over, and we got this done pretty quick.
Nailed it. Nailed it.
I love it. I love it. We're also live on Instagram here as well. I have the live on Instagram, live on YouTube. Thank you all for tuning in. If you have any questions, drop them in really quick. And any final thoughts or words that you would like to leave with our audience today?
Just hit record. Just do it. So many people, they get in, they have a really, really smart bookshelf of all the classes that they took. They started to study YouTube. They get overwhelmed just because they're overthinking it, and then they don't do it. Guys, I was 2 months pregnant when I started, 3 months pregnant when I started.
Wow.
And this allowed me 6 months later to have my son take 5 months off that year and still double my earnings just because I made a video every week. So just start. It doesn't matter how many people are out there doing it. It doesn't matter who's better than you. Just do it.
Yes. Amen. 100%. And I would say, don't overcomplicate it. I know I also went over a lot of things. Don't let all those things deter you. just get started on YouTube. You don't even need a website. You don't need any of the things I went over, just being 100% transparent. Like, you don't want any of that until you have a budget. You have a budget to pay for that, because it's not cheap. And at the end of the day, you need to make sure that you first like take care of your bills, take care of responsibilities, just to record, like you said, Kayla. And then from there, we can always have that conversation. But I always appreciate our collaboration, Kayla. You're awesome. Your tempo, when you're going through your examples, it was almost like, it was hard to distinguish like the Kayla in the YouTube like version as you're doing that, and then the Kayla in our
That's because that's who I really am. That's the whole thing. I would tell that to everybody too. Just completely be you. Just be you, and people are going to connect with that.
Yes. Amen. 100%. So, hey, even if you're watching this in the future, drop your comments down below. This will live on YouTube. And we would love to be able to get any of your feedback. And passiveprospecting.com, links will be down below. Catch that next event that they all are going to be having. Get coached by Kayla. I've talked to so many countless people that said that, like, just your energy, your delivery, and the way that you approach coaching has been very well received. So thank you, Kayla, for everything that you do for our industry. And I'm very much appreciative for you to take your time out for today to be a part of this event.
You are so welcome. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. All right, y'all. Take care. And until the next one, go hit record. All right. Gonna stop the recording. All right. We are ending.